Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
To our PTS stream for Year 8 Season 2. I'm here with my dear colleague, the game director for Division2, Alexandro Birzano. How are you
요즘
doing,
알렉산더
my
저
friend?
친구 잘 나오네.
Hey there, everybody. Glad to be here again. You almost said Year 8 Season 1.
Yeah,
I know.
almost. I was thinking about the numbers and the names. This is because we haven't revealed the name of the new season. And yes, this is another pre-recorded stream. I saw someone say in the chat, so it would be pretty impressive if actually this was a pre-recorded stream. And I had predicted this joke in the chat. So yeah, this is live.
Paid actors.
This is gonna be a long stream. I wouldn't say long, but like we have a lot of things to cover, and this is for a good way because we have a lot of content to show to you all. Yesterday I was live with Anais and Claudio from Bucharest, so you have now a higher standard to meet, Alex, because yesterday Claudio became a meme with the po sound effect.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm expecting the same from you today. So let's see what you bring to us. So for those who watched it yesterday, we mentioned that today or very soon we would come live to talk about PTS.
PTS에서
Season
매우
1 is
가까운
almost
시기가 한다고
ending,
했는데 바로
and this
다음
is the
날의
time
줄이야.
for us to discuss what's coming next. Before I start talking about Season 2, I would like to give you the opportunity and just chat about the current state of the game and how things are, because a lot of times I feel that the community thinks that we're not reading. We're reading everything, all the Reddit threads. I saw one day when a guy saying, yeah, I'm sure Leo is reading the comments here. I almost comment like, hey, I'm here reading everything. But yeah, we know the discussions. We know what's the feedback, what's happening right now in the community. And there's some topics that we'd like to address before jumping into the PTS. Right, Alex?
Yep. So obviously we launched a lot of things in Season 1. We had the retaliation improvements, we had escalation, we introduced prototype as a new gear quality, and yeah, it's been a bumpy season to say the least, but we've been addressing and making changes both on live and on our end, and I wanted to make sure that we can communicate some of the changes that we plan on making for Season 2, so to address the feedback that we've seen. So first of all, if you all remember, at the start of Season 1, we said that the tokens are going to be reset at the end of the season. We're not doing that anymore. After careful consideration,
token reset 어때요?
I'm pretty happy with where the
나이스.
token input economy is at the moment, so I don't feel that we need to continue with resetting the tokens. On the tokens, though, however, so I'm not pleased with the difference of rewards that a host gets compared to a guest in escalation. Right now, I don't feel like the host that is putting in all of the risk is rewarded enough, and for good reasons. The numbers showcase that themselves. So for Season 2, for the launch, we will be we're going to go back to the formula based on which the rewards are based and change them so that the host has more rewards than the guest, as it should be. Additionally, we are also looking into reassessing the costs of entry for escalation for each tier, and basically I think if I can put an umbrella under all of these changes that we plan on making for escalation, we want to make it easier to climb and less painful should you fail. So I think this is our guiding principle moving forward with escalation. And I'm happy. Yeah.
I would say that just to clarify, like for example, the new formula for tokens for hosts and the other members of the group. This is something for Season 2, but not necessarily is going to be reflected here in the PTS, because we're talking about Season 2, but the PTS is purely to test things for Season 2 that is not related to the balance of escalation, right?
For sure, yeah. Thank you for that comment.
Just to clarify expectations, yeah.
Yeah, everything that I just said won't be present in this PTS, but it will be there for 2.0 for season launch. And based on popular feedback, if you all remember, there used to be some crates in escalation and we took them away. So I saw how much players liked that part of the experience. And I'm happy to say that we agree. It's cool. It's fun. We've tested it some more on our end now that it's intended. And as of season 2, we are going to add those crates back into the mission. I really like that it gave players a reason to go through each of the missions and not just constantly replay one mission. So I think crates do a good job. So we're bringing them back. And I have one more bit to talk about live, the current state of live. So after the season 1 release, we heard a lot of feedback that players would like to be able to have more control over their gear. And that's when we came out and said, cool, okay, everyone wants some sort of recalibration optimization. We're going to work on that. We're still working on that, so it will come, not for season 2 launch, but as soon as it's going to be ready, we'll put it in the game. We want to make sure that it doesn't create more bugs and that it is an elegant solution within the entire ecosystem, but expect more news on it soon, I guess.
So we're not launching for season 2, but we're not gonna wait all the way to season 3 to release that. It's like as soon as it's ready and we have a maintenance window, we're gonna deploy to players, right?
If it's ready before season 3, yes, we're not gonna wait a season. If it's ready in season 3 or longer in time, then yes, it will launch then. So, but as soon as it's ready is the message.
Perfect. No, I think this is great. I feel that for a long time we've been seeing players talking about the escalation. Obviously, it's a hot topic because it was the new feature introduced in year 8 and everybody's grinding hard for the new prototype gear and everything that comes with that. So, for example, the crates feedback for escalation, we heard this from the community. We saw players saying, hey, that was a nice encouragement for me to go and rotate to all the missions. That's exactly what you said. So just reinforcing that this is based on community feedback and keep going, keep sending to us. We want to understand how to better improve and take our time to reflect on that, but also to move in the right direction. So yeah, thank you, Alex. I feel that a lot of people came here for season 2 waiting for some prototype gear and escalation updates that I feel that this covered a lot of the hottest feedback.
And that's not even what this season is about. This is just us, like there's some issues that we're seeing. We're not abandoning these features, right? Everything that we put in the game, and it's a permanent addition. We want to make sure it's in a good state moving forward.
Yeah, and this is why we're covering here with this setup, because this is not what is going to be on the PTS
내용들이 많이 바뀔 예정인데
we are just talking
바로
about what's
바뀌는 건
coming next,
아니고
but we have a lot of things for
일단 몇
PTS. And one
가지는
thing
시즌
that is
중에
very
바뀔
important technology
거고
since the beginning
프로토타입
is that this is
고정에
a
대한
very early
거는
build,
이제
right? This is
다음
like
시즌에서는 안
the earliest
되지만
I
그
think that
이후에
we have shared
준비가
what
되는
we're
대로
working
하겠다.
for the players, and we literally have some weapons that are
라고 하네요.
TBD in the build because we are trying to get more testing happening, right?
Yeah, this is a super early build, like fresh, hot off the press, so to say. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's work in progress, but we feel like we have so many changes for this upcoming season. We want to bring it early to the players. We want to hear the feedback, and we're bringing it so early so that we also have time to address that feedback.
Yeah, before we go to season 2, I just saw a question here. I feel that this is also a good opportunity for us to clarify. It was the first time chat.farm who asked, when is crossplay? I feel that every single season, every single stream, we have people asking about crossplay. So do you have any update for the players about that?
Sure, yeah. So we're working on it. It is an incredibly technical feature, so this is not something that you could just roll out in 1 month. There's so many edge cases because we're trying to make this crossplay system be as expansive as possible, like hearing player feedback, oh, I'd like to be able to opt out. Well, sure, we also want that, but that's going to take extra time on our end. I want to be able to join another person's clan from another platform. I also want to do that. That is extra time. Imagine what happens if you join the clan from another platform, but then you opt out of crossplay. So these are the minute details that make crossplay a beast of a feature. We're working on it. As soon as it's ready, I can't wait to let players be able to play the game together cross-platform. So please be patient with us as we trud along through the large list of edge cases for cross-play, but it's coming. It's progressing nicely so far.
Perfect. So now that we've talked about those other things, it's time to talk about Season 2. Season 2, the PTS of Season 2 starts tomorrow. So yes, if you guessed that we're doing a stream today because it's going to be available for you tomorrow. So tomorrow you'll be able to play test the first PTS phase of Season 2. We might have a second phase, right? I feel that this is also something important to set expectations since the beginning because we're changing a lot of things, we're bringing a lot of things, and we want to test more, right?
Yeah, I think in order to make sure that we deliver everything at top quality and we get the balance just right, you'll see soon enough what we're balancing. Ideally, we'd try to get 2 PTS tests this season. So this one is the really early one where there's a lot of things, work in progress. And hopefully we can do another one before season launch where based on the feedback that we receive, we'll add that into that PTS and do one more assessment before launch. That would be my hope.
Perfect. So I've seen a lot of questions in the chat. Some of them we're going to clarify it over the stream. So I feel that now it's time to go to the gameplay. I would like to make a statement here that you're going to see my gameplay today. So usually it's Yannick who is playing, and I'm just here taking care of the chat and making questions and organizing the flow of the stream. Today it's me playing. So Alex is all the way from Bucharest watching my gameplay and making comments. So I'm sorry if I don't excel in my gameplay skills. Yesterday I talked about combining Whiplash, the new exotic for Season 1. Climax mission with Iron Lung, and people made jokes about that. I'm sorry, I forgot. I was just thinking about an LMG. But yeah, now you're going to see how far I've come in Division 2. And there's one important thing to tackle before I show my shade level, because I'm sure people are curious about my grinding, is that we have a name for Season 2. So the Year 8 Season 2, it's called Into the Dark. So right now you're following the Rise Up season. I'm not going to spoil the climax mission, but you're going to see who's behind the whole plot of the Rise Up and the whole thing with the Black Tusk. For Season 2, I'm not making any further comments, but it's around the Hyenas faction, and the name of the season is Into the Dark, and that's what you can see here on the right side of my screen. So this way everybody knows what's the name, so I don't open the menu and people spot by mistake. And yeah, I'm almost level 1000, shade 1000.
Let's go!
I'm planning to reach that before Season 2, so I can change my global difficulty to heroic. And today you're gonna see my character, but with different gear, because I'm here to show what's new. So let's go, Alex. What's new about Season 2? What's the most important new feature that we're bringing here?
Well, I was going to pass that question on to you from the perspective of, so it's called Into the Dark. Why is it called Into the Dark, Leo? You wanted to drink water. Fine. No worries. I got this.
Go. Take the answer.
So we've been working on this update for quite some time, and it's a special update, I'd like to say. We're bringing players into the dark zones, and we've made many changes to the dark zones. You'll, as we'll be presenting everything, you'll find out soon enough why we're making changes to the dark zones. But this season is focused primarily around the dark zones, and we have some very interesting changes that we made to them. Do you want me to cover it? Should you?
No, I would just show that now you're seeing the mega map. If you see the dark zone south, you're gonna see the same old icon for the regular dark zone, and you're gonna notice that we have a different icon for the west dark zone and the east dark zone. So yeah, we have 3 different types of dark zone right now, and I think the most important one to cover is the east one. So let's start with the west one. So what's the difference between south one and the west one? Both of them are purple in our UI.
Yeah, for starters, again, this is a very early build, work in progress. Icons are work in progress. Some of you are spotting an icon over there that you've seen somewhere else. Work in progress. We'll get to it. But yes, south and west. So the south dark zone, as we can see, is looking quite familiar. So this is the same dark zone with the same rules that you've experienced before. If you've played the dark zone, it's the same old for now. So there's not much to say about the south one. On the west one, on the other hand, so this dark zone, we're making a change to the power level or the rule set present within this dark zone. In this particular dark zone, we wanted to make a more even grounded playing field for all players, by which your SHD levels are not applied in this zone, and neither is your expertise. So this makes it so that newer players could fight on a more equal footing with veterans. Consider this as a ramp up of getting into the DZ, a softer dark zone experience. And we're making this ramp up because of another dark zone that's present more in the east. We have a even softer ramp for those that maybe wanted to experience the dark zone but were too afraid of PvP. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, and this is the dark zone that is the exclusive feature for season 2. So it's going to be present only for season 2 for now, but let's see how the community reacts to that. And this is the PvE dark zone. So the whole season is based on the concept of the PvE dark zone or going to the dark zones, right? And I think this is a very hot topic in the community, having dark zones. as
PvE
I would like
전용
to
다크 존이
understand from you,
나온다고 하네요.
like, what was the direction that you want to go with this, and what players can expect from the dark zone PvE?
For sure. So we wanted to go in this direction because of 3 reasons. One, I've heard numerous times players say, hey, I'd really like to experience the dark zone. I'm not a big fan of PvP. Well, we have 3 dark zones. We could make one of them PvE, and I don't think we would be sacrificing from the PvP experience that much. It's not just a PvE dark zone, so but whatever. I'll get back to that later. So that was one of the reasons. Secondly, we made the entire season scenario around the dark zone, so we needed more control over the experience. So that by making the dark zone PvE, we can ensure that what you're doing over there makes sense with the vision that we have for this experience, and more details on that later. And lastly, we did quite a lot of changes to PvP. So I mentioned that Dark Zone West is a nice ramp for players to get started in PvP. I'm hoping that with the PvE Dark Zone, we can get players familiar with the maps, with the layout, with the intended experience of a Dark Zone. And then, if they so choose to, they can then migrate towards the PvP, the higher risk Dark Zones.
Yeah, we have, I've seen people in the beginning saying, oh, they forgot about PvP, they hire a PvP designer. We're going to cover all of that today. So I'm excited to share news about PvP, because since I've joined this game, I've been seeing a lot of comments for that, and it feels good to finally address the pain
일단
points that
PvE 전용
the
다크 존이
PvP community has
나온다라는 거 괜찮은데요?
pointing out. So PvE Dark Zone, I feel that it's all it's like this new proposition. We're showing a new way for people to experience Dark Zone. But is it gonna be always Dark Zone East for PvE?
So no, obviously straight up. We won't have this system right now for this PTS, but for season 2 launch, our plan is to have a rotation between the 3 dark zones. So right now, the PvE dark zone is Dark Zone East. The south one is the regular old version, and the west one is the newer, more new player friendly. Each week, this is our intention. Each week, the rule set would rotate between the dark zones so as to try to keep the experience fresh and maybe not let players get into the same repeatable process in one particular map. So I think that's going to be awesome for
분리된 방법 중 하나긴 하죠.
versatility and to freshen up the experience. So they will rotate.
And another changes that we made to the Dark Zones is
이런
also
다크존
about the
아이템
Dark Zone
상점이랑
vendors,
이거 타기도
right? So here we
괜찮겠는데?
have the vendor from the Dark
여기
Zone
다크존
East,
상점에
and
특급
we have
상점이
some
있거든요.
stuff
특급
that are
상점이 있어요.
new here for players. So
새로운
Yes,
상점 생겼어.
You can.
야,
Please.
no, yeah, I would say that we have here the recalibration cache costing 90 Dark Zone currency, and we have also the optimization cache for 130. This is new. This is another. This is a new addition to this specifically vendor, but this is not.
오
everything,
재료
right?
상자가 다크존에 다크존 상점이 생겼는데요.
Obviously,
이것도
since
좋은데.
we're focusing the season around the dark zones, it makes sense to refresh the vendors. Thank you to the lead PvP designer that put in the work to make this happen. Now,
기본
we have
분쟁
three
약한
dark
다크존
zones. We
이거는
have three
매주마다
vendors.
위치가 바뀐대요.
Right now, at this
그래서
vendor, you're seeing the
픽스된
exotic
건 아니에요.
cache and the other two caches. I didn't get to
이번
read
주는
them,
뭐 동부가
per se.
Yeah,
PB였다가
it's the
서부는
recalibration
다음
and the
주에 서부가
optimization.
있다가
I can go over them.
다음 주에
and then
남부가 있다가 이게
maybe if
로테이션이
it's better,
들어갈
because I
겁니다.
feel that it's not worth it for me to fast travel to the other dark zones just to showcase. But you guys are going to be able to experiment tomorrow, to try out tomorrow. So for the East Dark Zones, is recalibration cache for 90 DZ currency and
좋은데?
optimization for 130. These two that you're seeing. For the West, we have exotic component caches for 160 and reconstructed caches for 320. So I know exotic components are right now an important thing for the community. And this is South. We have prototype core caches for 170 and prototype caches for 400 DZ currency. So yeah.
금액이 달라진다.
Plenty of caches.
Oh.
More reasons to interact with the vendor. I know a lot of people, a lot of our players weren't that excited about the DZ vendors anymore. So by refreshing the rewards, I think this will give new life into these
가격이 싸진 않네.
that are trying to help us out. And I have one comment to make. So it makes sense for us to add awesome rewards where there is risk. So the philosophy around the vendors, and of course the prices aren't final, this is still work in progress, but for the prototype cache specifically for the DZ, you might have heard it being tied to a large price in terms of DZ coins. That is intentional, and while the final number might not be final, it will be a high cost, because not only will it drop a random piece of prototype, I think it's a random piece of prototype, that prototype is guaranteed to be a high rolled prototype. So high risk, getting DZ coins from the Dark Zone, but also high rewards for those interested.
And talking about high risk, high rewards, we talk about that. Let me go back to the mega map. The PvP normalized Dark Zone, so the one that we have a new rule set without Shade, Watch Power, and Expertise Power. This one will drop a bonus of 200% DZ coins, so you get more DZ coins from this Dark Zone if you take the risk of going to a very normalized experience on PvP, right?
다크존 코인이 PvP에서는 더 많이 나오게끔 하나 봅니다.
Will be higher with less power coming from, with less power differences coming from SHD and expertise.
예전에는 아이템 하나 분해야지 1점 얻었는데 그거를 좀 더 많이 주는 형태로 하나 본대요. PvP가 가능한 서버에서는.
The highest lethality. Everybody can kill everybody pretty quickly.
Cool. So I feel that we covered a lot of things when it comes to like the dark zones, the changes that we're making. But there are more things, because this is just the unique feature that we're bringing to Season 2, Into the Dark. We also have the modifiers as always, and they are connected to our season loop, right? So if it's about Hyena's Dark Zone, we have also the modifiers. Oh, sorry, wrong button. And here you can see them. So the global modifier is called Cleaning Up the Streets, and talks about sample canisters. So dear Alex, can you explain to the players what we're trying to achieve with this global modifier, how it works?
For sure. So it looks like a lot of text. It's very simple. In this season, within the PvE Dark Zones, the hyenas are doing some shady things over there. By going into the Dark Zone, clearing landmarks, eliminating hyenas, you will be able to drop sample. No, not sample. It's sanitation canisters. What was it? Or
Sample canisters.
Sample canisters from them, and by successfully extracting in the dark zone, you'll be able to keep them. Now, once you have some canisters, you can go at the base of operation, donate
Canister?
them, and by reaching certain personal milestones with those canisters, you'll get a buff, a straight up buff for the remainder of the season. These milestones, they don't reset. The community does not affect them. This is just on you, the player, and it just
PTS 내일 열린답니다.
continuously throughout the season.
Yeah, so I will go through. I can go actually to the White House and show the seasonal vendor how it works. I have some sample canisters right now.
샘플 캐니스터라고 하니까는 샘플병인데.
We have this bonus. So the level 1, it's I think it was written there. Oh, by the way, something very important. We have a big patch notes, and the patch notes will drop tomorrow. So it's not coming tonight after the stream. It's coming tomorrow because, as Alex mentioned, we have a lot of things that are changing last minute. So you'll be able to preload the PTS today, but tomorrow morning we're going to have a small patch to address some of the issues, and then the patch notes will drop as well. So this is the seasonal.
패치 노트가 토요일날 나온다고 하니까 토요일날
right?
보도록 하죠.
Here is how you use your simple canisters. So what you recommend me to do here?
Well, aside from the fact that this menu is currently broken, work in progress, everybody, super early build. Now, normally I would say just grab the first one, the one that costs 15, because we're going to need those sample canisters in the dark zone for something else that will reveal. So right now, by making that purchase that Leo did, what he actually did, he traded sample canisters for something we call munitions. This is something extra. I'll explain it later. But he also increased his sample size. So by making these kinds of purchases, taking sample canisters from the dark zone, coming to the base of operation, and getting munitions for yourself, you're also increasing your sample size, which gives bonuses as per the text there that I can't read because I'm too far away from the screen. So
밀폐용기?
mention the bonuses, Leo.
Yes. So the bonus are the 0 to 99. There are different tiers. So
샘플 용기라고 얘기하는 게 맞네요.
range, 50% weapon handling, 50% magazine size, 50% damage to armor, and 50% rate of fire. So it all depends on that. There's a question in the chat. There's actually some of the comments, and I completely forgot to address this because this is something that has been popping up, and we're talking about PvP, and obviously people are talking about cheaters. So I feel that this is a nice moment before we jump in the action to talk about the anti-cheat efforts that we have. So Alex, please, can you comment on that?
So, yes, I can comment on that. So, similar to crossplay, anti-cheat is a very complex system. We have a dedicated team working only on our anti-cheat efforts. This means cheat detection, whether manual or automatic.
글씨가 너무 작아가지고 잘 안 보여요.
Detection. There's so many things that go into it. So we are continuously working on our anti-cheat systems and improving them. And with season 2, you'll see soon enough, we are taking PvP very serious, and we have a bunch of changes for season 2 for PvP, and we're aware that without a healthy ecosystem, without strong anti-cheat tools, we won't be able to have a pleasant environment for our players. So we're working hard on strengthening our security measures. We're looking into all sorts of solutions for the most common problems. I don't want to mention all of them because I don't want to give cheaters a helping hand, but like particularly lag switchers are our biggest concerns right now. So we're also working on tools, prevention tools for these kinds of exploits. From season 2 onwards, we're committed to improving these systems for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, so sorry for getting the segue because I saw this comment in the chat, and I feel that we would be bombarded with questions about this before we jump into the action. So I want to address this as early as possible.
Yeah, that's fair.
course. So we have this. We have the modifiers like we mentioned, and we have the active modifiers. This season we have 3 of them. We have Vicarious, Pneuma, and Invincible. Again, we don't have, for example, the icons for those modifiers. We're delivering a very early build to the players. So
탄창 용량 증가.
please test,
그렇구나.
give your feedback. But some of those things are broken because it's super early. For season release is going to be on point, right?
Yep, and you're seeing a lot of text on the screen. We still need to do a pass on the text. There's too much text on screen. It's not going to be like that for release. But there are 2 sections in each of our active modifiers.
어우, 글자 많아.
I'm not going to delve into details about each modifier, but I'd like to explain the functionality of them this season. As per usual, you
스킬
can
관련한
level up
건데?
your active modifiers by playing and using them. This is common. We've been doing this for the past seasons. But this season, when you activate your modifier, it does what it says that it does on screen. However, should you have a particular number of sample canisters in your on you at the moment, you will trigger what we call a surge effect for the active modifier. So that means on top of the regular effect that the active modifier will have regardless of what you do when you activate it, should you have these sample canisters, you're going to have even more power added on top, and it's automatic. You don't need to do anything. You just need to have them in your inventory for this to trigger. So it's power with extra bonus power if you have these sample canisters.
Perfect. So again, we're gonna have everything on the patch notes. You can see all the information there. It's gonna drop down tomorrow, and this is all up to change. So please give feedback on the modifiers as well. And this is how it's gonna look like for the PTS. We're gonna have the surge description.
다크존 같은 경우는
below the
PVE
original description.
전용
The three
다크존이
active
나온다고
modifiers are here.
합니다.
Have, again,
그래서
Vicarious,
다크존에
Pneuma,
대한
and
그
Invincible.
어려움이
For
확실히
example,
많이 줄어들
Invincible
거예요.
description has just Invincible, but it's in the PTS we're gonna have in the patch notes we're gonna have everything. For example, just to go through Invincible, because we don't have a
Surge가 맞는
description,
것
and I
같아요.
noticed this on live showing that is not pre-recorded. On activation, Invincible fully heals the agent and repairs their armor for a limited time. The agent gains very high damage reduction. Damage taken during this window is stored, then applied back to the agent when the effect ends. While active and while enemies are in front of the agent, Invincible also grants 20% movement speed, 5% armor on kill, which converts into bonus armors for Invincible's remaining duration. So, and 25% damage to
순간적으로
targets out of
강력해진
cover. When
이런
Invincible
느낌이죠.
ends, it enters a cooldown period of 180 seconds, so 3
샘플
minutes, and
캐니스터를
stored damage is
보관하고
applied
있다가
back to the
그거를
agent.
사용해가지고
Any bonus armor gained
순간적인
through the modifier is
버프를
removed.
줘서
So I'm going through the
강력해질 수
description
있다.
just for. I know that
근데
a
그
lot of YouTubers are gonna
강력해지는
cover
어떤
the
현상이
recap of the stream. So
활성
I'm
조종에
reading
따라
everything.
달라질 수 있다
For at least for
정도로만 보면
tonight,
될 것
people
같습니다.
know all the three active modifiers. And this season we have 9 passive modifiers, so
버프팩 정도?
we're done with the 30 something that we have in Rise Up. It's a little bit simpler. What was the design direction for passive modifiers this season, Alex? And the icons are also TBD.
조정
I
9개네요.
think the direction for the passive modifiers this season was Yannick coming to us and being like, can you not do 34? Can you just do 9 again? And we're like, yeah, fair enough.
샘플 병
So because
소유 개수 증가.
there is this layer of complexity in the global modifier, and by complexity it's because we're talking about sample canisters, we're talking about munitions, and we're talking about that sample size that gives you bonuses. That is some complexity until players get used to it. Then the active modifiers having the default effect and the surge effect on top, we said to ourselves, okay, for the passives, we're just going to make them super simple, straightforward. They do very simple things. I see something you have there about toxicity.
Yes.
So yes, they do something in regards to toxicity, and
We're gonna talk about
I wonder
that.
what toxicity is.
Yeah, what is toxicity? That's a good one. Let's find out very, very soon. And we have the before I jump to the action, because I've been doing a lot of menu walk through here with you guys. We have the hostile modifiers as always. We have 3 of them. We have Plague Doctor. We have Sopophoric, and I wish I had Yannick here because he's the French one who would say folie à deux in the best way possible, because that's a French expression. But we have here the 3 hostile modifiers for the seasons as well. We want players to think a little bit before triggering pulling the trigger, right?
Yes, and
아이고.
they're very much tied to the
뭐가
seasonal
많구만.
mechanic that you're going to experience. So no further comments until we show them what toxicity is.
Yes, let's go to the PvE Dark Zone now, and let's learn what is toxicity. So
톡시시티.
I'm joining Dark Zone, and you might notice that I have something
녹색
on
가스가
my
있는데요?
left side there. There's a 0 and a new icon in the left, and now it's 4. What does it mean, this new information on my screen, Alex?
Not only that, but something weird is happening with the edges of your screen from what I can see, Leo. But so yes, with this season, not only will you have a PvE, not only are we introducing a PvE Dark Zone, but within this Dark Zone, so this does not apply to the PvP Dark Zones, within this Dark Zone, there is something that the hyenas are doing that's causing players to get infected, let's put it like this. On the left, what you're seeing with that
제한
counter, that's a
시간이
toxicity meter.
있고
It
저거를
continuously
제거하는
ticks up.
방법이
You
있지
are
않을까요?
getting more infected the more time you spend in the dark zone. And to really stress out this notion that this is a toxic location, there's a bunch of nasty stuff in the air and on the ground, you'll notice subtle changes in the dark zone that in the environment that will reflect what's happening this season, and also at the edges of the screen. Right now, Leo is at the
화면에도
very
녹색
first
스크린이
level
생겨요.
of
여기 보시면은
toxicity, so everything is
녹색이
fine,
생기고 있어.
no worries. But when those levels start going up, the effect on screen will be more pronounced, and with each level that Leo gains, debuffs will be applied to the player. So sure, it's a PvE dark zone. There's no PvP here. There's no danger from other players. But you're not only fighting the NPCs, you're also fighting the environment here.
All right. So again, I'm gonna be judged by my gameplay skills here. I'm totally fine with that. You can curse, you can judge as much as you want, but bear in mind that I'm not a super PvP player. So this is gonna be one. I'm with the different skills that I'm used to, so I already triggered the hive here. Cool. So again, I'm used to have my drone on my left. The left L1 thing. Let me take coverage because this is a cover shooter, right?
그러니까 적에게 피격당하면은 점수가 더 빠르게 오르는 것 같은데요?
Sorry, Alex. Sorry for watching my poor gameplay skills here.
I'm silently judging. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. You can.
You're doing great, Leo.
I know that I'm not doing great.
아니 지금 저 빨간색
I'm fine.
원
It's
안이
not your
지금
build.
빠르게
It's not your
올라가는 것
build.
같기도
So
하고.
It's not.
when I test the game,
Yes,
yeah.
that's right. I'm not playing. Someone say, "Oh, dude is running with system corruption." This is not my build. I play. What do I play? What's the name? It's Unit Alloys. And someone is behind me, right? Yeah, please go away. It's definitely not my build. I have turmoil.
I think this is the. Sorry.
No, go. Make the comments.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the hardest parts on the job when we have to test something. You know, like we make a change, we add the system in the game, and we need to test something, and we don't have our saves from live.
맞아요. 시스템 손상이에요.
Because sometimes the save gets corrupted by some whatever changes they were making. It doesn't matter. We don't have our saves. We don't have our build. It's not the same keyboard and mouse that I have at home, and assuming you also have to play it live like Leo does, you can't imagine how challenging it is to just be randomly dropped with a random build. You don't even know what abilities you have until you load up the game. And it's, So you're doing great. You're actually doing great.
I'm used to have my shield on my left button. Oh no.
어허.
Okay.
야,
Sorry, Alex,
제대로
you told me
보여주지도
that I'd
않고
be fine.
죽네.
I'm not fine.
오염도
Cool. So
낮추는
what
방법이
happens
없나?
when you collect sample canisters from landmarks in Dark Zone?
샘플 캐니스터 모으는
Now,
모습을 못 볼 것
there's a
같아.
difference between what will happen right now in the PTS and what will happen at season launch. The idea for season launch, but sadly this is not reflected in the PTS, I don't think so. They should be contaminated. So that means if you grab some sample canisters, fresh ones from the DZ, and you try to exit the Dark Zone through the door, you lose them, just like you do with any kind of contaminated gear right now that you pick up in the DZ. So obviously, as per the normal Dark Zone experience, you pick up the canisters and you have to go and extract.
캐니스터를 먹어야지 탈출하는데 캐니스터를 못 먹고 있어.
Oh no. Okay, more enemies. I think I'm gonna just call it short because I don't feel that I'm gonna be able to clean a whole landmark, and we have a lot of things to cover. But the idea is you go to those landmarks, you get the sample canisters, you return to the vendor, and you get bonus for the remaining of the season, right?
Yes, that is.
네, 캐니스터 다크존에서 먹어요.
And you can use them to surge your
다크존에서
active
하이에나
modifiers, which
셔츠하면은
gives you
캐니스터를 먹을 수
bonus.
있다.
So, okay, getting
그리고
contact
이거를 캐니스터를 사용해서
I think
버프를
it's
획득할 수
awesome that
있고
you have the HUD
버프에는
right
적중
now
사거리,
open.
무게
So as
중력,
you
타착
can
능력,
see,
방어 도장 데미지, 발사도 증가.
Leo has his active modifier on the
할수
right,
있고요.
and to the right of the modifier, there's two new icons. One of them is the sample canisters that you currently have on you, and another that's the bottom one next to
오염도가
the modifier, and the one on top is the
증가하는
munitions.
거는
So if you remember, we said that
적대 조정의
you
가능성이
get
있을 것
these
같기도 하고요.
canisters from the dark zone, and you
그리고 지금 이렇게 빨간
donate them
공간
at the base of operation.
빨간 공간
and in
있죠.
turn
이
you get
공간 뒤에
munitions. Now what
들어가면은
munitions does, it gives you a
빨리
bonus
올라가는 것
whenever
같아요,
you
오염도가.
reload. It also consumes them automatically on reload, but you also gain a bonus. So as long as you have them in your inventory, you reload, munitions get used, and you get a buff. And for the canisters, you can use your active modifier with its default effect, but if you have some on you and use your modifier, it will take away some of the canisters on the right and give you a surge on top of your effect.
Yeah, finally I used the Resurrection Hive. I'm sorry for the first one. And now I died for sure. Okay.
또 죽어.
Cool. Alex, I won't torture you anymore.
야.
Leave that screen up. Leave that screen up because it's perfect.
그럴 수도 있을 것 같아요.
This is something for players to be able to
지금
see.
여기 보시면은 톡시시티에 따라서 디버프도 있네요.
Stronger and stronger debuffs on you. Should you hover
데미지
over
받는
the
데미지도
PV dark zone, you're gonna
올라가고
have the
이동
full
속도가
list
줄어들고
of,
이런 거 되겠네.
effects per
상태 이상
toxicity.
저항도 줄어들고
Yes, so all
무기
the-
조작력도
all the way to
줄어들고요.
500. Cool. I feel that I've humiliated myself enough. People are making fun of me on the chat. It's fine. You can go on.
아니, 이럴
But
땐
there are more things
그냥
for this season, so I feel that there are more things
플레이어
that
중에
are
한
more
명
interesting to see than me
화면
struggling
공유로
on PV
QA
Dark
이렇게
Zone.
좀
So
해주면 안
let's go
되나?
back to a safe
이런 거
environment
플레이해 주시면
and let's
되겠습니다
talk about
해가지고
gear.
그거 딱 해주고 하면 될 것 같은데.
Could you which gear is this? Is this the season gear or is this the other type of gear?
It's the other type of gear. That's the thing I wanna talk. Before we tackle
레벨 제한이요?
what's
레벨
new
제한
for
아니요?
season two, I feel that we
없었던
need
것
to
같은데.
talk about what's important for the game that has been here for a while. So, Alex, what we're doing and at the season launch, and what is one of the main focus why we're having such extensive test window for this PTS?
Right. So, everybody, get ready. It's happening. This is the big PvP update. You don't even know how big it is until I'm gonna start saying some numbers soon enough. But
This big.
it's been a
This
Yeah.
big, this all these pages of changes. Yeah, go on.
So we mentioned, I think it was last year, that hey, we really want to give PvP some love. It hasn't received that much love in probably years. We got
그 SSD 그거를 못 봐요. 다시 보기가 안 돼요.
PvP designer, and he's been spearheading
그거 안 돼, 이게.
the efforts in regards to PvP. So this season, yes, we will have the PvE Dark Zone, but we are at season launch. We're pushing a
한국에서는
massive
그걸 못 해요. 다시 보기를 못 봐.
rebalance. So just to clarify what PvP rebalance is.
잘못해요라고 해도 볼 수가 없어.
It works in a particular way outside of PvP. When in a dark zone or in conflict, you have PvP overrides. We have a massive change list.
나 지금 PvP 플러스 얘기하는 거는
So
알고
here
있는데
I'm changing from
아까
now,
지금 다크존의 레벨
PvP stats
제한은
and now going to PvP
있었는지 잘
stats. I think
모르겠는데.
one thing that is very important to highlight right now is that we are not touching PvE stats. So if you're just a PvE player, if you go there and you play PvE content, nothing will change for you. You can go to Dark Zone PvE and have fun as always with your build. Nothing will be changed. But when you go to PvP, we're going to have a lot of balance. And this is only for system corruption, but we have touched a lot of things. And this is not all, right? We're planning a multi-phase balance process. Can you guide us through what it means to have different phases for PvP balance?
For sure. So right now, for Season 2 launch, we have around 350, I repeat, 350, I think it's closer to 400, but let's say 350, just to be in the safe ballpark, of talent changes done to the PvP overrides. This is a massive rebalancing effort on the team to ensure that we're working towards a fairer and cleaner PvP environment. Right now, it's just the talents. We're working on throughout Season 2, we will have updates where we will do the same number of changes on skills, on attributes, and other parts that require balance. But for now, it's just the talents because we saw them as the biggest outliers in terms of messing the balance. So as soon as we end up with the talents in a nice place, we can then move on to other aspects of gear pieces and balance them accordingly. I do have two particular pieces of gear that I want to draw attention because they've been very naughty in PvP. So for PTS, at the very least, Tinkerer is completely disabled in PvP. It's causing a lot of havoc. It needs to not do that. So for now, Tinkerer is disabled in PvP. And another favorite piece of gear of mine, Determined, which is not working as Determined should work in theory, for PvP. Again, this is not affecting the PvE environment outside of the dark zones and conflict. Determined will function as perfect Determined in PvP. For now, this is what how we're addressing that particular change. We'll see how it evolves in the future.
And I think something very important is also to understand. I saw some people like, oh, my weapon got nerfed and something like that. It's not that we're nerfing your weapon. We're making a whole balance to the whole ecosystem. So it's less about your specific gear, your specific weapon, but how it interacts with the whole thing. And this is why it's so important to have this PTS right now. And this is why we would like to have a second phase if possible.
이거
to make sure that we are giving people the opportunity to interact with all the variables of this complex ecosystem, right?
I'd love nothing more than as many players as possible
특수효과
to
모양이
jump into
왜
the
다른 거
PTS
같냐?
players that are actively playing PvP, maybe players that have stopped playing the game because they didn't like the PvP environment. I'd love to see your builds. I'd love to see what you think about these changes. It's not necessarily just nerfs, right? Some things were way too strong and were abusable. Some things were way too weak, so they needed some love.
방금
And
특수효과
right
못
now,
봤어요.
it's not about just, like Leo said, it's not just about one change. It's the entire ecosystem that we're trying to change and make it into a really fun environment and a fun experience.
Yeah, so that's basically it, and I expect you guys to go through everything. I was playing with system corruption because that was one of the items that we've been that we made some changes to adjust to that. We make some changes, for example, to the Catharsis, Exotic Mask. Here is the St. Elmo's engine. So you're seeing
아니
that we have
바꾸기 전이랑
different
바뀐 후랑 좀
balance for
제대로
different weapons,
보여주지.
different talents. So
너무
please take your time to
막
go
왔다 갔다
through all
거려.
of it. And this is one of the reasons why the patch notes is dropping only tomorrow, because it's a huge document with a lot of changes comparing PvE to PvP, or yes, PvE to PvP. So you're gonna see what changed and how is everything happening. So I teased the community by mistake. I forgot that loadout had one specific weapon. So now that we've covered PvP changes, again, we're not going every single one of them. Just remind that for PTS or for Season 2, we're changing talents. Later, we're going to do skills and attributes in another phase. It's time to go through what's new for this season, and the community has been asking about Caduceus the whole stream. So I kind of teased that to them, and now it's time to show what's new. So this is the new brand, the new gear set, and some of the new weapons for season 2. And yeah, Caduceus is back. People have spotted that since the last update, and they're wondering if it would drop with the Brooklyn event that is happening right now. But no, Caduceus is a Season 2 weapon, right, Alex? And we brought back from Division 1 one of the
카드시어스 시즌 2에 나오는 거네.
Yeah, exactly like you said. For Caduceus particularly, I don't think those numbers are anywhere close to final. I think only just this morning we managed to push some numbers into it, expect it to change or not. But yeah, we know it's a fan favorite. So within Season 2, you'll be able to get your beloved.
글자가 너무 작아요.
You'll be able to get your hands on a beloved weapon again.
Yeah, and this is the talent that some people were speculating. So critical hits repair you and your allies for 1.5% of that hits delta damage. So critical hits, total damage, you got 1.5% back to you and your allies as repair. We also have, let's go through the other. So this is the exotic. It's not the climax exotic, so you'll be able to enjoy since the beginning as long as you unlock it.
치명타 없으면 힐을 준다라는 거죠? 나쁘지 않은데?
And that's very important. The climax exotic is not going to be on PTS, so it's going to be revealed later down the road. Now going to the other weapons that we have here, we have Insult to Injury. This brings a new talent called Head Scratcher.
치명타가 떴을 때 거기서 뜨는 치명타 데미지의 15%만큼을
to confuse enemies, and after
바꿔준다.
4 kills you apply confuse to enemy you hit. This is the perfect version of it, so it's 35% amplified damage to confuse enemies, and after 3 kills you apply confuse to them.
It says TBD.
Yeah, it's TBD. Like a lot of things are TBD here. It's people will see that it's a lot of things are TBD. So this is the Insult to Injure, and we also have this one that is called the Brain Break, and also has the same TBD talent that is called Head Scratcher. So at least in the patch notes would be Head Scratcher, and the build is TBD. And to be confirmed if tomorrow is going to be TBD or we have the right name. As we mentioned before, a lot of things are very hot of the
데미지 증폭.
Cool. Let's show the new gear set. So this is the new gear set. It's called, I have the name here. I know that it's TBD there. The new gear set is called Ortiz Reficery. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but yeah. Oh, it's there. Yeah, gear set. Ortiz Reficery. So 2 pieces gives 8% skill efficiency, 60% repair skills, 60%, and the 4 pieces unlock the new talent. Rapid application and prototype. It's a very long name for a talent, and this is the description you have. So do you want to comment on like the direction of those the gear that we are adding to Season 2? Because there's a lot of things here about skills. As you see, it's a yellow core gear set, and if we go to the brand set, it's also a yellow core one. It's called Edelweiss, I think. And we have here repair skills, skill haste,
잘 안 보여요. 이게
efficiency. Yeah,
720이라서
guide us through it. Sorry, I spoke for too long.
So this is very fresh off the press, and I can't read that far, Leo. The screen is too far for me to be able to read the text. So I think you're in a better measure to do the
완벽한
sets,
공감 해결이.
justice.
Yeah, so perfect empathic resolve, repairing and ally increase their total
일색
weapon and
효과가
skill
뭐지?
damage by 3 to 20% for 20 seconds or 1 to 15% to yourself. Effectiveness increased by your skill tier. So this is the talent for the chest, and the backpack has perfect safeguard with full armor, increased total skill repair by 160%. And this is again the three bonus that you get
skill
by having
회복이네요.
the brand set. And there's one extra exotic thing that you might have seen here. We have the exotic knee pads called nurse's knee pads with those attributes that you're seeing on screen, and the talents impervious that both you and allies within 10 meters of you receive 40% hazard protection. So very good for your defense. So although it's like a red core one, the talent is for your defense. Any special comment about the gears that we're introducing in Season 2?
They are thematically tied to the season mechanic and the whole toxicity aspect of the PvE Dark Zone.
40% 상자
this
좋은데?
bonus here giving you hazard protection. It's both in line with this idea of toxicity, but we also thought a bit about the PvP environment, and we know that a little bit of extra hazard protection definitely might be welcome.
Cool. So we've covered basically the weapons that are new for the weapon and the gear that is new to Season 2. We talk about the balance that we're doing to a lot of talents to the PvP side of things. We talk about dark zones being introduced. We talk about a lot of things, and Season 2 is going to be a very cool step to our Year 8. I have some known issues here to people to be aware of. Some gear, weapons, and talent visions are currently placeholder. I guess you have noticed already. And the PTS cache blueprints is available in the PTS build, but it currently reflects its previous state and may not include all newer blueprints. So just so you are aware of it as well. Alex, I won't go through, again, I want to show this because you're going to be able, the community will be able to read these themselves tomorrow. This is like 28 A4 pages of balances to the PvP environment. I had here
28장의 PvP 밸런스 관련한 서류래요. 와.
But it's a very cool
그동안 밸런스 못 잡고 있다가 이제 잡으려고 하니까
we are introducing a new encouragement for people to go
너무
and
밀어놨지.
explore Dark Zone like me to learn where to take over, which build to bring to there. Like I'm sorry for the gameplay, but yeah, we have a new reason for PvE players to play Dark Zone. We have new reasons to PvP players to play Dark Zone, and we're doing this big overhaul in PvP talents. Any final notes from your side when it comes to like how players should approach Season 2 PTS?
So stuff might be more broken than usual. Again, this is a super early build. We are aware of some bugs that exist, and it's normal as we get closer and closer to release. Expect that we'll iron out those issues. Still, it's super important for us to get as much feedback as we can. For PvP players, please let us know how you feel about these changes. This is the only way that we can actually make a healthy PvP environment, by making these kinds of balance passes and reflecting upon them, seeing them being used in different builds and gameplay. What else? A lot of work in progress is in here, so expect the usual placeholder icons here and there. We're aware of that. Sorry, if we do a second PTS, they're all going to be in there. And I think what I also want to make sure that we mention for the PvE Dark Zone, there is an interesting aspect to it, and I'd be curious to hear players' feedback. So this would be the first PvE environment where 12 players can exist, right? So, because so far raids are 8 people, countdown it's 8 people again. So 12 players within the same spot. You will be dealing with the NPCs that are there. You will be dealing with the toxicity that will hinder you the more time you spend. But, however, there are also two more parts to this experience. So, obviously, with 12 players, my biggest concern was, what if they all group up and just demolish the content in the PvDZ? So, with that, let's say that the hyenas are monitoring this dark zone. The more players within the PV dark zone, the more alerted the hyenas are. How this would translate into gameplay is the enemies are going to become tougher. So if you're jumping into the PTS, you're shooting an enemy, you kill them in 5 seconds, and then you meet a new patrol or you go to a new landmark, and you're noticing that you've been firing for 5 seconds, yet the enemy is not dying. That's because we're dynamically scaling the enemies up and down based on how many players there are in the DZ. And to try to make this experience maybe a bit more interesting or exciting for the players, obviously when we were playtesting this internally, when you went to extract it, it wasn't that climactic moment normally in the dark zone, the extraction is climactic because another player can come in and kill you. This can't happen in a PvE environment. You can't go rogue at all in this environment. So what we ended up doing is instead of other players, we spawn hunters at extraction. And not only do we spawn hunters, I did think of the scenario where maybe 12 of you all are going to group up and are going to be at the extraction to beat my hunter. So instead of one hunter, we're going to have the more players at the extraction, the more hunters we're going to spawn. And we have some dynamic scaling applied to the hunters based on how many players there are at extraction. We did a couple of playtests with the team and Yannick and myself. It's amazing to see 12 players in one place shooting at the same 2, 3, 4 hunters that spawn in front of you, and it's so cool to see all of the effects and whatnot. I hope we don't crash the servers or the game or whatever with this, but it looks awesome. It's a sight to behold, and it's the first PV per se environment where
마지막에 사족이 기네.
Amazing. Alex, thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry
이거 어메이징하고 끝내버려.
We've had a lot to cover, and I had a lot of issues with my gameplay, but I'm sure the community is happy. I've been seeing a lot of positive comments. A lot of the questions that are being that people are making right now, we covered before in the stream, so I'm not gonna just repeat them, but it's gonna be available for you. We took care of some of them already. And the reminder about PTS, the preload starts today. I feel that I think it's already on, but tonight at some point will be available for players. Tomorrow we might have a patch to fix some of those issues that you've been seeing on my gameplay screen, and the patch notes also drops tomorrow. So I'm sure
다른
people are
것보다
excited
밸런스도
to dive
밸런스
into
뭐
those
그냥 단순히
PvP
밸런스라고
changes,
얘기를
but
많이
it's gonna
하는데
need to wait till tomorrow when the
아이템
PTS
간의
is available.
밸런스도 너무
Okay,
깨져
it
있어요.
lasts
지금.
over the weekend, and on Monday it's off.
아이템 간의
Hopefully we're
밸런스도
gonna
너무
have a
깨져
second
있고.
phase based on your feedback. So let us know. Use
그러면 이제
Discord. We have the dedicated
아이템 간의
spaces. We
밸런스가
have Reddit.
깨졌으니까
People
그 밸런스를 맞추기 위해서
are always
파티
very
플레이를 해야
vocal and very nice on
되는데
Reddit to organize feedback.
파티 플레이가
We have
너무
Discord,
강제가 돼버리면
Twitter,
그건 또
socials
게임에
in
대한
general.
재미가
So please
떨어지잖아요.
let us know what you think, and we're
그럼 솔로
sure
플레이
gonna
하는
discuss
사람들은
that next week.
결국에는 빌드가 고착화되는
Okay.
거고 그
Brooklyn
고착화된
event
빌드로만
is
쓰려다
happening right
보니까
now.
결국에 또 밸런스가
So
안
we have
맞는다는
the
얘기가
event pass.
나오고
Next
밸런스를
Tuesday we have
맞추려면
a new
기본적으로
hunter
아이템에
dropping in
대한
Brooklyn. We
리빌딩이
have
좀
a new
필요해요.
grow event. And yeah, exciting
그런
moment.
고려
Soon
없이
climate
그냥 계속
mission,
밸런스 맞추고 있다라고만
and the
얘기하는
Whiplash
거든
exotic pistol as well available.
이거는
Alex, thank you so much for today.
잘못된 부분에서
Thank you so
포커스를
much
맞추고
for
일하는
having me,
거라서
and I'm super happy to say that season 2 is finally gonna be the PvP update. Man, I've been waiting so long to say.
Amazing. So guys, thank you so much
그리고
for your audience.
PVP에서는 PVP에서의
see you
TTK랑
next
PVE에서의
time.
TTK가
Bye-bye.
굉장히 다르기 때문에 이것도 빌드상 고려를 또 해봐야 돼요. 왜냐면 보통 PVP에서의 TTK가 PVE보다 훨씬 빠른데 그거를 또 이제 무빙으로 피하는 사람들이 많거든요. 무빙으로 피하게 되면은 PVP가 PVE2보다 TTK가 훨씬 늘어나는 경우가 있어요. 진짜 몇 배가 될지 몰라요. 그럼 그거를 어떻게 평균값으로 내가가지고 할 거냐 하는 것도 문제가 되고, PVP는 밸런스 잡는 게 굉장히 어려워요. 그래서 저는 이런 RPG성 게임의 PVP의 밸런스를 잡는다라는 거는 거의 뭐 불가능에 가깝다라고 보는 건데, 그럼에도 불구하고 이 게임은 슈팅 게임이기 때문에 사람들 간의 대전이 중요하죠. 그래서 제작진의 노력이 이해는 되지만 다크존에서의 PVP 밸런스는 좀 힘들어요. 다크존에서의 PVP 밸런스는 굉장히 힘들고, 차라리 분쟁에서는 파티 플레이가 무조건 강제가 되니 분쟁에서의 PVP 밸런스에 대한 부분을 조금 더 디테일하게 잡고 분쟁을 좀 더 확정시켜가지고 디비전 1 때 라스트 맨 스탠드 같이 8대8, 12대12의 분쟁 컨텐츠를 좀 해서 진짜 거기서 박 터지게 싸우는 형태로 조금 재밌게 가보면 어떨까 싶기도 하고요. 다크존에서의 PVP는 진짜 고인물들의 싸움이에요. 이거는 단순히 밸런스만 잡는다고 될 수 있는 게 아니야. 뭐 어쨌든 이렇게 해가지고 진짜 이야기할 얘기는 많이 했어요. 일단 기본적으로 그냥 다음 시즌에 대한 큰 내용은 이제 확전 토큰에 대한 게 시즌이 바뀌어도 리셋이 없다라는 거, 이것도 한다고 하고요. 그리고 다음 시즌 중에는 토큰 이제 넣는 거 있잖아요. 확전 시작할 때. 그거에 대한 불평등한 내용이 많이 있어가지고 이것도 바꾼다라고 하고, 또 주입 가격도 바뀐다고 합니다. 근데 당장 바로 시작하는 건 아니고 그 시즌 중에 바꾼다라고 했고요. 그리고 프로토타입 아이템에 대한 보정 가능성은 다음 시즌까지는 아니지만 현재 준비 중에 있어서 준비가 되면 그 이후에 이어의 시즌 3나 그 이후에 적용 가능하다라고 하고, 크로스 플레이는 여전히 일하고 있다고 합니다. 근데 일을 하면 할수록 여러 가지 이제 자꾸 요청 사항들이 많아져가지고 그거를 해결하려고 하면 또 다른 문제가 생기고 해결하려면 또 다른 문제가 생겨서 지금 어떻게든 하고는 있는데 좀 딜레이가 되고 있대요. 그리고 다음 시즌에 대한 주요 내용은 이제 인투 더 다크라고 해가지고 다크존과 관련되어 있는 내용으로 좀 많이 이야기가 되고요. 다크존이 기존에 있던 다크존이 있고, 그 다음에 분쟁 다크존이라고 해서 SH 레벨이 없어지는 굉장히 라이트한 다크존이 있고요. 그리고 PVE 전용 다크존이 생긴다라고 합니다. 또 다크존 상점에서 자원이랑 최저가 상자가 생기고, 다크존 상점에서 다크존 상태에 따라서 금액이 달라진다라고 합니다. 그리고 조정은 클리닝 업 더 스트리트 해가지고 거리를 청소하라 라고 하고 있는데, 이 부분이 이제 좀 약간 제대로 안 보여줘가지고 확실하지가 않아요. 다크존에서 하이에나를 처치하면은 샘플 용기를 획득하게 되고 그걸 통해 버프를 얻을 수 있다라고 하고 있고요. 버프는 적정 사거리 증가, 무기 조정의 증가, 탄창 용량 증가, 방어도 대상 데미지 증가, 발사 속도 증가, 이렇게 5가지가 순차적으로 업그레이드 된다고 하고, 거기에 활성 조정 3개, 지속 조정 9개가 있고 적대종 3개가 있다고 합니다. 그리고 톡시시티, 오염도라고 해서 PB 전용 다크존에 들어가게 되면은 UI 좌측 상단에 아이콘이 생기고 숫자가 올라가고 있는 것을 보실 수 있게 되고, 오염 지역에 대한 오염도 증가로 추측이 되고 있습니다. 그리고 해당 오염도에 따라서 디버프가 생기고 있으니까 이 부분에 대해서도 주의를 하면서 플레이를 좀 해야 될 것 같아요. 그리고 신규 기어 세트는 스킬 효과 8%, 스킬 회복 60%로 해가지고 스킬 회복과 좀 관련이 있는데, 그것도 너무 빠르게 지나가지고 제대로 못 읽었지만 힐 스킬의 재사용 시간과 범위가 감소하는 대신에 힐 양이 증가하는 좀 그런 형태의 힐러 빌드가 좀 나오게 됐고요. 그리고 카드세우스라고 하는 특급 무기, 이거는 치명타가 적중되면 치명타 데미지의 15%에 해당하는 거를 당신과 플레이어의 동료에게 힐을 해준다 라고 하고 있습니다. 그래서 딜러나 아니면은 이제 좀 딜러이면서 스킬 회복을 아니다. 이건 스킬 데미지가 아니지. 치명타 데미지를 올려야겠다. 좀 하이브리드 빌드로서 치명타 데미지를 챙긴 빌드가 이 무기를 써가지고 힐러 역할을 해줄 수 있는 것도 될 것 같기도 하고요. 어쩌면 이번 시즌에 나오는 그 기어 스트렝스, 코어 스트렝스구나. 코어 스트렝스 빌드하고도 한번 엮어보면 좋을 것 같기도 하고요. 그리고 신규 특수 효과로는 혼란 상태 이상의 적에게 데미지가 증폭되는 무기 특수 효과가 추가됐고, 신규 브랜드는 이제 1셋 효과가 스킬 회복이었고요. 네임드 조끼로는 완벽한 공감 해결이와 완벽한 안정 장치가 나오게 되고, 특급 무릎 보호대, 간호사 무릎 보호대라고 하고 있는데, 당신과 10m 이내의 당신의 동료에게 40%의 상태 이상 저항을 올려준다고 합니다. 이거 쓰게 되면은 이제 상태 이상 저항을 좀 쉽게 챙길 수 있을 것 같아요. 그리고 그거 이외에도 이제 PVP, 다크존 PVP에 대해서 굉장히 많은 밸런스 보정을 하게 한다고 하는데 너무나 많아가지고 이 부분은 패치노트에 알려준다고 합니다. 일단은 이렇게 정리가 될 것 같아요. 마지막에 되게 우르르르 말을 했는데 그냥 내용이 좀 많아가지고 복잡하네요. 일단 이것도 패치노트 나오게 되고 하면은 이제 또 라이브에 했던 내용이랑 정리를 해가지고 한번 자세히 또 살펴보는 시간을 가져보도록 하겠습니다.
아지랑이 피어오르는 DC의 한여름 Heat haze on the street Echoes of defeat 배지는 무겁고 무전기는 차가운 침묵뿐 Every step I take The ghost follows my lead 무너진 기념비 아래 우린 무엇을 위해 싸우나